the two best teams when it comes down to Miramar.
Cool.
Remember when we were casting, RRQ Athena, Miramar, and PMWL East Season 0, and they were doing extremely good on the desert map. So if I had to choose a chicken dinner winner on this one, it would have to be or A1 Esports or RRQ Athena.
Cool. Well, we do see their playing path kicking things off. It's pretty central across the board, right, Max? In terms of, it hits the Picado mark pretty well. Yeah, okay, it's going from southwest to northeast, so maybe Campbell Miltar drops up. But overall, I could think of a lot worse playing paths for this Miramar game.
Yeah, I mean, we had some really bad playing path yesterday. I mean, did you see them? Probably not. You were in your bed.
No, dude, man, I was.
The playing path were really bad. Like they went round top of Lost Lunes. You had the drop that was really weird yesterday. I believe it was RRQ Athena who actually dropped in Lost Egos. And I think that was just like a testing ground, but like they're definitely not going to drop there again because that really was out there.
Oh, we do see BTR and Konina Power dropping in Picado. The battle of Picado between these two sides. Konina Power can't seem to catch a break because, they always seem to have a challenger in Picado. We also see a couple of teams dropping in down by San Martin. That's Team Secret and the side of Futbolists. And Navi and Blue Bees are kicking off this fight in the Chumacera area.
Some big boy fights are going to be happening. It happened exactly yesterday. Like you had Navi versus Blue Bees. Yesterday was actually Navi that won it flawlessly, 4-0. Yep. So actually, I think that here Blue Bees are trying to reclaim their past drop-in location. So they're going to be in a pretty big fight. But Lufa is completely spread away from the rest of his team, Imperium. They're still able to find a knockdown with UMP onto Tixi and might be able to find his second one onto Old Boy. As Navi are just trying to surround Lufa and taking down the old player of Reject Scarlet is somewhat going to get overwhelmed.
Or Blue Bees, the Vine from their side was one that stood out. He got a 1v3 against Power 888 in the first game of the day and got second place for his side. So really, I've no doubt that Blue Bees are going to be a force to reckon with when it comes to the PMGC, as Lufa is going to be facing up against the two players of Navi. Towards the building. Mac holding on. Oh boy is indeed knocked down, so the support is coming through as Lufa is going to be coming out pretty strongly in this game. Gets a second knockdown onto Matic. Oh my, this is what I talked about with Blue Bees.
1v4! It's a 1v4! He just 1v4'd Navi Imperium! Oh my god, Lufa! What do you want from me? There you go. They lost it yesterday. They take it today. Not as flawless as Navi yesterday, but they still take it 3-2-4. Man. What a clean fight.
That's what I'm saying. With Blue Bees, they are a force to be reckoned with. Fact. They are a force to be reckoned with. I have on record, Blue Bees, PMGC, they're going to show up. We did see Futbolists, I believe, took out Team Secret in San Martin as all that was going on. We have A1 and Godsent in Los Leones.
Picado.
Picado?
Picado.
Oh, my lord.
Picado.
My lord.
Konina Power and Bigetron. Yesterday it was actually won by Konina Power, and now Bigetron seem like they were to find 3 players. They found Gonzo, DGR, and Black White. Ace is going to be the last player standing currently for Konina Power, as they did pick up 2 kills on Bigetron. So still pretty close, I do have to say, but I'm pretty sure this is a fight we're not going to see actually break out during the Global Championship, as Ace is going to push it up there with a Thompson, but it's not going to work out. And today is a day of upsets. Like the fights that were won by teams yesterday are actually being lost today.
Oh, and we also see 4 angry men and Loops Esports, I think, having a little bit of a scuffle against each other. As 33's fam was knocked down, but it is going to be last player. Is it last player of Loops? No, it's one player of Loops is actually taken out, as the rest of Loops are looting up towards El Azahar. Max, phase 1.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? I think it's pretty good because it complements the playing path. I think it's pretty banging.
When you have such a central playing path, like you rarely have really bad circles. This one has most of this zone is playable. You've got a little bit of an error to the west, which is not playable, but that's completely fine. You got most compounds, got high ground position. I would say Bigetron off the bat of winning that fight, because also you do have a few teams like potentially Abrupt Slayers that did third party in Picado yesterday. I would say Bigetron, if I were them, I would just leave Picado, go for the mountaintop up north, and just scout from there on, because they are as a 2-man army, so they can't really take a fight head on.
And Abrupt Slayers third-partied in the first game as well. In the fight between Team Secret and RRQ, they third-partied that, and they ended up eliminating RRQ, I think. And then they ended up taking out Team Secret. It was either way, they third party really successfully. So again, maybe a little bit of a pattern forming, even though it's not the full Abrupt Slayers side. It could be a pattern forming where they're able to recognize when is the right time to third party a fight and to grab a couple of kills, because that's going to be so important in the PMGC, right? When you're able to get a couple of kills without really getting involved in the fight, that's good stuff.
Yeah. So Imperium, I want to ask you I want to pick your brain just a little bit there. Just was like nothing like strategic or anything. So Fuangu Men's got one player that's currently split away from his team that's going towards water treatment. How do you say his name? Go on.
It's just Suck, right?
No, I thought it was that too yesterday, but people telling me, no, Maxman, that's not how you say it. It's actually Suk.
Suk.
So, which it's there you go.
Yeah,
now
I
we
know
don't have
what
to do
you're
bad jokes
thinking.
anymore.
I know what you're thinking, right? You're thinking what I'm thinking.
Maybe. So, like Imperium. Also, now something like game related here. We're not here to mess around too much. You remember back in PMWL, like we had T1. They were the only team to drop on the mount, to not drop, but like rotate to the mountain on the east of El Porto, and they would always like snipe and scout from that position. Yeah. But now T1 on this tournament, I would love to see if other teams would try and take that position, because it was helping T1 a lot in their PMWL adventure.
It really was, and yeah, okay, on one hand, that's a fantastic position, but on the other hand, there's a lot of great areas in this phase 1 that teams can go to where you don't necessarily need to go to high mountainside. So it could be one of those things where a team is just not feeling like they have to, and they're thinking, okay, we might get affected on a phase 2 shift if we do go there. It's one of those things, plus as they're still maybe trying to find their feet, they could just be looking in other areas of the map and maybe looking out for other teams towards where they dropped. Yeah.
Overall, I'm okay with pretty much what's happening. Abrupt Slayers, I like it. They went for the side of Power Grid. It's really good for scouting in what's happening center circle towards Monte Nuevo. Alpha 7 actually started moving early for Monte Nuevo, and they actually got the mount, like the little, no, it's not really a mountain, like we're going to call it the hilltop, and they got the hilltop position up north. So I think overall I'm pretty happy. But look at, like, we mentioned this rotation time and time again over our history of casting PUBG Mobile Imperium. Like the rotation from Valdemar from Zeus Esports, they took like the high road on the left, because really no one's going to deny you that rotation. And also the cast spawns are so dominant, and you got mountaintop right west of Monte Nuevo. Like this is a clean rotation from Zeus, because they just know they're not going to encounter anyone mid-rotation.
110%. Also love Execute's current position with Fate being that scout where he's able to grab a lot of information. It's a bit of an early position, and because the rest of the team are kind of following suit early on, I think it'll set Execute up really nicely coming into phase 2. Again, they're a team that are very intelligent, and they do have really strong rotational plays. I just worry about their lack of aggression.
Yeah, I think that could be an underlying issue for them. I'm going to head on over to Futbolists, and I don't know why I had an issue there, but they're going to be fighting versus Execute currently. Execute, not really full squad in that position. They've got to be a little bit careful if they decide to attract the attention of Futbolists, but seem like Futbolists, they're aiming for a different position. They are not really too interested with this fight, so they should be able to leave Execute for the time being alone.
They're hoping they can actually kind of pinch Execute more so than Execute pinch them, but being on that southern high ground from Execute, from where Execute are, and we see phase 2 shifting up, and that's going to be the case. But the good thing is Execute can always just go back over and come in from the northwestern side of the map. It will take longer, but it could be a potential clean disengagement.
Yeah, I think the overall here for Blitz, they got a good high ground position. Also, they're just going to be potentially gatekeeping and Execute. So I think the overall here, Execute got nothing to win from this fight, which is exactly what they're going to be doing. They're getting into the car. They're sending 2 players forward. Zute and Noobsy are staying behind. Maybe because they're keeping Zute and Noobsy behind, maybe their game plan is actually to try and pinch them on the mountain. I don't know exactly what the game plan of Execute actually is, but seems like they've got an ace up their sleeve.
Fate is flanking around pretty nicely. Of course, Futbolists need to think about their position inside the circle, right? Because there's a huge Chungus Mountain just down the south of them. They're not really getting a lot of information on the teams towards the center of the circle, so it's much more important for them and much more valuable for them, in my opinion, to, for now, forget about Execute and think about getting information on the teams who are already inside the circle or rotating around them.
So real quick, I'm going to start panning over to RRQ Athena, where I think we've got a pretty big fight potentially coming out. You got Zeus Esports. They are so spread, but they got so many angles. I think the RRQ Athena have literally no idea. B11 just going to go, oh, YOLO, dude. I'm just going to go straight center, and he's going to encounter himself with Zeal, and he's going to get put down instantly by Zeal with the M4. That is why you want to scout, my friend. B11 is going to regret that decision. Ernie's now going to be somewhat locked in a position also, as D2E's got a little hilltop. They're caught out napping Imperium. RRQ are going to struggle to disengage this potentially.
Yeah, it seems like D2E is looking to join up with Ernie, so they might try to commit on this, but Ronan is going to get the knockdown onto D2E.
Yeah, exactly, because they had so many different angles, and it was literally like a spider web, and they were just waiting for an unwilling just team to just jump into it. And the moment they get caught up and tangled in the web, like, they're done for. And literally that is exactly what we saw happen as RRQ are down to, I believe, 2 players. Oh no, just 1 player actually. Ernie. I thought they. Well, I don't know how Senior died early then, but yeah, they're down to only 1, and that's Ernie.
And here's the thing, that was kind of realistically off the back of what you had mentioned, Zeus's rotation down from Valdemar. It was out of sight, out of mind. Because they got there early on that rotation, they were able to catch out RRQ. So teams, if you think about that early rotation, there's a higher chance you not only control your area, but you can catch a team out.
Exactly. I think that here Zeus has a really good ownership of the western side of the map, so I'm intrigued to see how they're going to do potentially with teams trying to maybe counteract their rotation going into the global championship itself. As Ernie now, they saw exactly where he was positioned, so they're going to potentially converge on his position. Icy's very close. He's actually in grenade range, and as I say that, he's going to start chucking a little bit of utility in his global vicinity. But I think that Zeus, because then he got 2 kills, right? I think they might be thinking it's still a 2-man team, so they're still being very cautious, very aware of how they want to approach this compound.
Blue Zone closing in for phase 2. Yeah, okay, they're pretty firmly inside the circle, but they will have to beware. The longer they leave it to close out this fight, the harder it might be to rotate should the circle disengage very heavily away from them. We do see Execute catching out a member 4 Angry Men down on the northern side of the circle, as Execute did indeed do what I kind of suggested, which is go around on the northern side, but they did get a little bit closer to El Pozo, as the phase 3 shift is pretty damn extreme.
Yeah, we didn't see on stream, but Icy just had a great grenade onto Ernie, and that's RRQ Athena eliminated. So it seemed like my call-off saying RRQ were good on Miramar. I mean, they are, but it's just this time around they encountered a worthy foe that was just Esports. A very unfortunate run of events on their side. And I'm going to go over to 4 Angry Men up in the northern edge. Is going to be seeing exactly what is going to be happening. And the other player, the player that I cannot say the name on 4 Angry Men's side is actually Xini. There you go. Sin and Xini.
Sin and Zingy. And it's going to be Zingy. It's going to be taken out. Haskell is going to be able to knock down Moves, but Zute comes in, and that's going to be a squad wipe for Execute. The right amount of aggression. Going to get that revive off on the Noobs, and they will keep up as a full squad.
Yeah, there you go. Really clean stuff coming out from Execute. And I said it right there. We're going to have a trick up their sleeve. And I think especially like we saw yesterday, Miramar game, where they were playing really passive in the early stage. And they can always snake out of a bad position, which is why I really respect the Execute, because I think they have true potential as they can just snake away from really bad spots. Now the circle, you said it right. Hardchief coming on through. Pretty good position from the likes of Blue Bees. They've got good high ground mountain top position to control from. But a lot of teams around them that could throw a few shades at this position of Blue Bees.
I also kind of worry about A1. Maybe they're a little bit too separated. Loops are coming in from the northern side. Dadin is going to be inside the same building as Ginny. So it's something they're going to have to think about. But with a couple of the Loops members in the background, let's see if Sinister from A1 can be that flank position to suppress the members of Loops.
Salk able to find a nice knockdown onto Leon of Abrupt Slayers. Futbolist trying to be a little bit cautious about this one, but Soke is very split away from the rest of his team. They trying to send Hunter forward, but Hunter gets headshot by Loverzin. And now I think that here we're seeing Abrupt Slayers regretting their decision, as they're going to try and just fall back on their feet and keep on top in the back foot with also Utsaga. Very unfortunate run of events, but Solke just solo-handedly defended his position with his team.
And very important position for Futbolists, because they are pretty close to the central part of the circle, but they're not confident enough, in my opinion, where they can be a bit passive. I think being that level of aggression is much better. Yeah.
So Bigetron, we did talk about the fact that I think they could go scouting up north of Picado. They didn't do that actually. but it did go from compound to compound very slowly without really attracting too much attention. And then Bigetron, right, their playstyle, when they know they can't take fights, they play passive, they play edge of circle, which is exactly their playstyle here. They're just going to go step by step, circle by circle, finding a decent spot where no teams currently are, and then hopefully just get a few extra positioning points from that. That is their playstyle. We saw Bigetron put off time and time again, so I'm expecting to see Bigetron not get fully involved in any future fights, as the circle does go perfectly on top of both Alpha 7 and Blue Bees.
And Alpha 7 were actually kind of on the western side of the road, and they made that early kind of rotation, predicting that the next phase was going to go against them. And credit where it's due, it's worked out in their favor. But with a team in front of them, of Blue Bees, and with them in the central part of the circle, will they get compounded by a couple of teams maybe rotating around them? Of course, they have a lot of kind of high ground, low ground where they're able to protect themselves from, but time will tell.
Exactly. So I'm looking a little bit at what's happening on our side. I've seen a really, really smart rotation coming out down south. There's actually from Zeus Esports. So Zeus Esports, they were actually up north next to Mountain River, and now they actually went for a wide rotation because they knew no teams were occupying the western edge. I think that Zeus Esports, in this game specifically, have the cleanest rotation so far. I'm going to head on to a fight of Execute up in the northern western side. They're taking a big fight versus Power888. Currently happening.
Oh, baby. Rain Boys is knocked down, followed by Fate. So Zute, who did get a squad wipe on the 4 Angry Men along with Noobs. Last 2 players standing, but they're facing up against a blue zone, and they are pretty kind of further away from the rest of the team. So Zute essentially on his own.
Exactly, yeah. Zute's going to have to solo this fight. He is pretty far away, too. He's in a position where he can't really join up on the rest of his squad easily, and they're just going to bleed out to their death one by one. And we'll see if he can try and make it up. But he's got a car, and I think that here the best course of action is literally to just disengage, count your loss, and just get the hell out from that compound, because it's definitely not worth it. And there's not too many teams up north, so Zute could technically still find a little nook and cranny to hide into.
He can, but the fear is that because he's coming in from the north, he doesn't really have that much information. And he's really got to kind of tread lightly, and he could make the wrong move. Loops on to another player of the side of Abrupt Slayers, rather than of course an altered roster. It's now going to leave on top left on his own, but he's really kind of going into the frying pan of a number of teams, which is of course in my eyes Secret Jin right now, who going to see him right on his side. Shots are going to be fired up, but he does make it into that building.
Yeah, they're going to be taking a big fight for themselves. The grenades are going to be flying on by. A1 Esports are going to be in a pretty good spot. They got high ground position above Loops. Loops they had a few players like Federal that was actually in a little dip, so it makes it really hard for him to really peek out from too easily. Korea is going to be trying to join up on his position. Some utility will be coming out from his side. The grenades are flying by, but Korea has no chance. He's just getting absolutely pummeled down by A1 Esports. And A1, they want to try and put a nail in the coffin of this one. They want to take down the entire opposition. Carrillo's going to be right around the corner, and he will indeed go down. Loops are out in 9th.
Yeah, maybe they bit off a little bit more than they could chew. They didn't clean up A1 when they had the chance. A1 did deal with that really tremendously, really finding the right time to strike. And now Alpha 7, who are still inside the circle as a 2-2 split, have Power888 to the north of them.
Yeah, Power888 are going to try and enter eventually. Well, that time like Zeus, they're literally chilling Imperium. As the old, prophet said, they be chilling. They're having a fun time. But Alpha 7, like, they got a 2-2 split currently happening. They got 2 players taking care of the outskirts of the circle in the northern western edge. And Alpha also got 2 players, Senna and Lord, just trying to take care of the central part. But the circle is a pretty hard shift for this lobby, as it does go to the mountaintop, held on so far by the side of Blue Bees, the Japanese team. So I'm pretty sure we're going to maybe see a fight between Alpha 7 and Blue Bees extremely soon.
I just got a notification on my smartwatch saying that 4 a.m. Zinghe. So I hope I say that right in the future, but it's
Zingy,
definitely Zingy.
Zingy.
So
that's you didn't listen to me, Imperium. I'm so sad.
No, I know, but it's like getting the message. I was just like, just knowing how it's spelled as well as pronounced. But yeah.
There you go. We're being big brain guys. It's fine. A belly of Zeus already sent forward towards the circle just to liberate a little bit of room. He's the anchor point for his team to allow an easy rotation inside the circle. Raucus is going to serve the exact same purpose for his squad, as he's actually just going to full send himself straight into the circle. But Abeli, actually, the anchor point of Zeus does go down.
Yeah, Marley with the M24 shot off. going to really work out. We know how good Marley can be with a bolt action, so it really is no surprise, in my opinion. And now Godsent are going to be able to edge a circle, camp the side of Zeus and pick him off one by one. I believe he's going to get confirmed up. Zeus is going to be holding down on the side of the vehicle, getting those shots off to try and suppress Godsent. But because right now it's a 2v1, a grenade comes through, he goes down. But in comes Alpha 7 on a bit of a third party.
Yeah, there you go. They hear some good shots on Alpha 7. You know, they're going to try and get involved. Center does go down. Law's going to be left forward. He's going to do a room just like in One Piece. But no, we're not in One Piece. We're in PUBG Mobile, baby. As Law does go down to the opposition. The European team of Godsent takes it for themselves and eliminate 2 teams almost instantly. Well, not really Zeus. Zeus is also over there, but they take down 2 little squads. And Ronin does go down. Zeus Esports will be eliminated in 8th position. 7 teams still remain as Futbolists. They're going to have a lot to deal with because they're still trying to push up in the northern edge.
They are still trying to push up in the northern edge. You got the last remaining player of Power888 to the north of them, or to, should I say, to the west of them. You have Bluebees to the south of them. And all the while, you know who's also sitting pretty? A1 here on the northeastern side of the circle. Still up as a full squad with 3 kills so far in this game.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty safe in this one. I'm like seeing how the circle's been going, unless it goes over to the side, sorry, to the side of a Secret Jin. I do believe that this one will be won by Blue Bees, so there's going to be expecting a big hardship for that to not be the case. But currently you're seeing Godsent taking down Alpha 7 one by one. Godsent, what is happening? I mean, they were playing good yesterday, taking teams down like Nova or Bigetron, but Godsent today also, they're playing strong. 7 kills already under their belt. Yeah,
they kind of picked their time to strike, and they're making it work in their favor. As we are down to the final 6 teams. You got Blue Bees, you got Futbolists, you got Power888, the A1, you have decided Secret Jin and Godsent in this game.
Yeah, here it is. They're sending themselves forward. Raucous and the Buggy's going to be trying to initiate upon the good old squad of Blue Bees. They got the only remaining compound in this circle, but the circle did go a little bit further away from them. Actually, somewhat in favor of Secret Jin down below, and also A1, but I think that A1 and Secret Jin will take a fight of their own to try and take control of the eastern edge. But Futbolists and Godsent, they're both going to be converging on this compound of Blue Bees because they know if they leave this area free for Blue Bees, like, they're going to get backstabbed later on.
But then again, could one of them get third party to allow Blue Bees to keep on surviving and striving in this game? We'll have to wait and see as Godsent are making their way down over the lip of the hill, overlooking the Blue Bees members that are going to get surrounded. So, okay, does take down the last remaining player of Power888.
Yeah, Power888 out in 6th. Futbolists going to make their way into the compound. Blue Bees, then you got 2 players, Ato-chan and Lufa, and you're taking a 2v4v4. Like, you know that this one is going to be a tricky engagement for the side of Blue Bees. A lot of smokes coming out from Futbolists, which I think is good. They also denying pressure from Marley on the other side of Godsent, so it could definitely help them out in the long term. But Godsent, they're not really too focused on this compound. There are no big fights currently roaring in those buildings. So they're more focused on the teams down below, like Secret Jin and A1 Esports. They are hungry for kills, Godsent, today.
And now we see Ato-chan is going to come in. He's going to get knocked, but he's going to get knocked down in return. So leaves Lufa left on his own. He's going to get 1 knockdown. Switches around. He's going to go for a second knockdown. It's just going to be a second 1v4 for Blue Bees and Lufa. God damn it! Let's see if we can work inside the smokes.
Oh, the smokes are going to be dissipating actually in pure, but Lufa, the clutch machine of today, is decimating the side of Futbolists. That's another one, and another one. 8 kills going so far for the side of Blue Bees, but it's not over just yet. He's going to go actually for the res on Ato-chan. I'm surprised Futbolists, known their aggressive nature, that they did not go for that flush instantly. Asoki now, the tables have been switched. Look how the turntables, that you would like to say. As now he's taking a 1v2 versus Blue Bees, but Godsent, after the fight broke out, they want to go for the re-engage. They want to eliminate all these teams in this compound, eliminating potentially Futbolists and Blue Bees along the way, as now Lufa is left as a one-man army.
And inside the blue zone, Solke is taking that tick damage, which is really not helping them. A1 Esports, who forgot about Secret Jin, are coming in now on the upper part of this hill. As down goes Blue Bees. You got 3 teams in the corner side of this circle. As Godsent are going to lose 2 players. Those revives are going to come through. Futbolists go down, and we're down to the 3 final teams.
Yeah, before we do end up this game, we do have to say what a game that was from Blue Bees. Still big congrats to them. But A1 Esports, they're actually pushing up, like they're pushing uphill, and they didn't get punished by Secret Jin down below. This is huge. As Godsent now, taken down one by one, down to 2 players. It's going to be Mali and Navy, but no, the flashbang comes out. The buff flashbang destroys the European side of Godsent, and they are eliminated in 3rd position by A1 Esports. And A1 Esports now, this is looking like a piece of cake. Imperium, they got 3 players, they got the mountaintop, they take down GGZ, and now it's all down to Forward Boy to take that fight for himself. But Imperium, I told you, it was all RRQ or A1 Esports, and seems like A1 Esports will indeed be the team to take this chicken dinner.
Oh, no, come on. Leave the poor guy alone. Zap's 4th, left on his own. He's going to take that damage. He's going to go down, and that's going to be the game won by A1 Esports. 9 kills to get the
7 for Sinister.
Yeah.
7 for Sinister.
Yep.
What? Okay. Chill out. A1 Esports, that's huge for Sinister. But like, not only him, like, look, where is he? Where's Lufa? Lufa 5 kills also for himself. Like, huge. Like, you got so much. Oh my god, this was such a good game. I loved it. There you go. I have no words. It was just too good.
Also.